How's it going, everyone? Just want to go over some suggested simple changes I think Bungie could do to fix Destiny 2. Am I the end all be all of all the information on Destiny? No. But I really think if they just do 10 simple things, they can actually get the game back to where it feels better to play. It feels more enjoyable. And these aren't crazy, add new content, add new raids, blah, 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 pump out more content. No, just simple things that'll make the game feel better for new players or existing players. So, to start with, expansion prices. They gotta go down. They gotta be bundled in some which way. Some gotta be free, or something's gotta change with what comes out of those, or else it's just gonna be a train wreck. You cannot play this game as a new player if the expansion is $600 to get all the expansions to even play the game to competitive level, right? Do you need absolutely every single expansion? No. But how are you gonna know that as a new player? Right? If you're a new player looking at this game and it says $600, and you're like, okay, so which expansion do I go? I have to go watch a bunch of YouTube videos to find out which exotic weapons or which raid I need a certain piece from that allows me to play the new content, the current content, and I have no idea what to do. And then even with the rotation that happens every week, some people are like, oh, I'm playing with my friends, playing with my friends. Oh, that's an expansion I don't have. I can't play with my friends now. So you're excluding players for not having a $600 wallet, and then they have to also look out for discounts just so they can buy the game. Not inviting new players. Let's get that changed. Bundle some expansions. I understand that the new expansion should be reasonably priced for a new expansion. Do I think it's $100, $90 is excessive? Yes. Right? 70, 60, put a new expansion out, get some new players in, make it a premium version, sure, whatever, more expensive. The new expansion should cost something, right? It's new content, you put some effort in, I get it. Lightfall, missed the mark, but we get the gist. Number 2, new and free to play needs to be more inviting. It's really hard to understand the game as a new player, and they're just basically thrown into a world where they have the campaign that starts off with the entry level stuff. They're like kind of discovering, they're coming back alive. They're like, oh, what happened? And then they get skipped ahead and they miss all the campaign, that stuff that was removed, right? Red War's gone. So you're like, okay, well, that's kind of what the introduction's for, right? It needs to be more inviting for new players to say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing in this world. I got this gun. I saw a perk on it. Don't know what it does. It's probably the only perk I've ever seen in my life. And then you go through and you get a whole bunch of gear and you're like, I don't know which one's good, which one's bad. Where do I go? Right? You have a journey. It's pretty decent, right? It's not crazy. But other than that, you're kind of lost. Especially if you bought every single expansion and you just start that day one. Which one do you go first? Which campaign do you go with? What raid needs to be done? What lost sector needs to be done? What do you run dungeons? Do you not run dungeons? You have no idea. You got to make it a little more understandable of how do I invite a new player into this game and how do I get them to want to purchase? So if you're free to play, you're like, okay, I just want to try the game out. I don't want to spend any money. What can I do? That's something that new players are going to have to discover, but make that gate of entry a little easier. Number 3, bugs. There are way too many bugs in this game that are kind of brushed across, and everyone's kind of, oh, it's just a bug, it's just a Bungie bug, it is what it is. There has got to be a fix on a lot of these bugs, and it's old content, new content, everything. I understand that seasonal content or new content you bring out is going to have its kinks and different changes and stuff that needs to be repaired. Totally understand. But expansions way in the past that come around weekly and you're like going to a raid boss and it just completely bugs out and ruins your challenge, or different things where like the boss just doesn't work, or you guys fix something, or Bungie goes says we fix this and then they are breaking it and you can't even do the challenge for the current content. As recording this video, Crota broken. They fixed the glitch on the boss. Glitch still works. Boss doesn't. You can't complete the boss on the challenge mode. Doesn't make any sense. There's so many things that need to be focused on. Just getting the game back to where it fully functions, and even go up to certain vendors without the game locking you in that screen and you're unable to get out. Can't tell you how many times I've gone to the clan vendor to get some free Ingrams and get some raid banners. Talk to her, and all of a sudden I can't move. I can't get out of the screen. I'm stuck in this screen almost every single time. I have to completely zone back into the tower, walk all the way back over just so I can do it again, and then be stuck again at certain points, or sometimes it'll work, never know. And it's with almost every vendor, it's the same thing. So just simple things of just Bungie, focus a lot more on fixing your game so it's very clean and precise. I know the game is fantastic for most aspects, and I'm surprised it works anyways, right? It's a blessing that we get to open our menus and whatever as we're traveling to different things and loading in different screens. Awesome, love that feature, right? So some magical thing that happened like you already have working really well, but you got to make sure you focus on the game itself. So maybe have some devs play the game and say, hey, this is what's broken, or open a forum up, or let read the forums of actually what's bugged, because there's a lot of things that just bug, and then when it is bugged is another thing. Sorry if I'm tangenting around. Another thing that is bugged is that the fixes take forever. The loadout fix took so long to fix for something that was very minor. That people were doing different visual changes with their weapons. Like a sniper was looking like a hand cannon. I mean, yeah, that's I guess an annoying bug, but there's no reason it should take like a month or almost a whole season to fix a loadout issue that breaks the game for everybody. Because then new players can't make loadouts, and they're like, okay, well, this doesn't work. Why do I want to play a game where the systems don't even work? The core systems aren't functioning. There's got to be more of a priority on focusing on things that are actually very important to the player base and what's actually going to be very noticeable, to focusing on other things in the kind of background. Like, you got to really focus on what is currently broken and how to fix that as fast as possible, because it just looks really bad. It looks like management doesn't know what they're doing, or they don't know how to prioritize their tasks. So I would just say Bungie really need to work on those bugs, get those fixed up, and it'll really help your player base. I know it's a thing where a lot of companies want everything to be perfectly polished and everything needs to be absolutely insane. But then what happens is they spend all that time polishing, and then they bring the game out, it's still bugged. So just bring the game out, make some more rapid changes, something with those bugs, and get those things rolled out, and have a team focus on just fixing those. Would really help out the community. Number 4, the Eververse store. You know this is going to come up, right? Needs to reduce the prices. Drop them in half or 75%, something baseline, drop them down. Take all the Eververse items and put a whole catalog out there. Whatever's in the Eververse store that's ever available or would be rotated in, make it into one catalog, right? Make it so anybody can buy whatever they want, whenever they want, for the price there, right? Each week, do sales. If you want to do sales for it, cool. But make it so people can actually get what they want when they want. If they're going to spend money, let them spend money on what they want. Because they go through their collection tab and they're like, oh, I have to wait for a lucky chance for this random piece to show up on the store so I can get it, right? Make it easily accessible to go through the Eververse store and buy whatever you want, whenever you want. Also, with that being said, number 5, make a large part of the catalog Bright Dust. Make it only Bright Dust, or make it every item almost Bright Dust accessible. If you want to make it kind of expensive, it's fine, but still somewhat make it Bright Dust accessible, and then make those on sale each week. That'll definitely bring in some players that they actually feel like they can grind out some Bright Dust and get the exact piece they want, rather than every week gotta check the store and going, is it what I want? No, it's garbage, I have to wait. Or they spend their money on something, they spend all their Bright Dust on something, and then the next week the best thing they wanted shows up and they don't have the Bright Dust, now they're screwed. Doesn't seem very welcoming to a player, especially a new player that'd be looking at this going, what the heck is Bright Dust? Where do I get it? What do I do for it? It's kind of hard to figure out where to get Bright Dust and whatnot anyways. Didn't even know to check the store every week and they have to come back as a chore, right? Not inviting. Number 6, the Xenology quest. This thing is a pain in the butt as a new player. You have to, 1, find Xur, right? Who's Xur? And as a new player, you have no idea where this person is. Do you look for him? Anything at all? And then you don't know about the quest because it's on the last page. And you only have until reset to complete the quest, or you miss your chance the next week. Right? It's not at all inviting. Ciphers are way too important for a new player not to have easy accessibility to them. It needs to be where they can easily get ciphers once a week or twice a week or some other option, that way they can unlock their exotic weapons, because new players are kind of stuck because they farm their quest out. They spent their whole weekend when they want to be doing something else farming this quest out, because they have to do 21 tasks, which is rather excessive in a ritual playlist, but they may not enjoy that content, but they have to do it so they can unlock that cipher, so they can unlock their exotic weapon. It's part of the journey also. You're stuck behind the journey unless you have enough weapons. And that's just not inviting and not enjoyable enough for a player to want to sit there and have to grind out every single week. Say you wanted 10 exotic weapons. You have to take 10 weeks and do all that farming just to get 10 items. You can't even get a full expansion's worth of weapons you have to do it in 10 weeks to catch up to your friends, right? And you have to know which one are the best. You could buy one and not know it's the best. You could buy a second one and not know it's the best. And then you've wasted 4 weeks of farming on items that aren't meta. They're not buffed. They're not changed, right? It just doesn't feel good. Number 7, Bungie has got to make changes at a faster pace, right? Numbers need to be adjusted. If a weapon is not doing well, a weapon type or an exotic armor piece or whatnot is not doing well, they need to adjust the numbers every few weeks, right? If they release a new exotic and it's just not doing there, bump the numbers up. There's no competitive scene in Destiny 2 currently where there's no esport or anything else, which I'll get into later. There needs to be rapid changes. If there is a professional esports kind of aspect where there's a huge competition, if there's a competitive aspect to this, then yeah, I get the changes being at a slower pace to make sure it's fair for everyone. But there's no reason to delay changes of either buffing or nerfing something over a few weeks, right? If something is being absolutely too strong and they don't like it, then change it. If something is way too weak, it needs to be changed. But the problem is they're waiting way too long to make a change that is just really hurting everyone. It just doesn't feel good to have your vault be filled up for each of your characters with 8 different exotic pieces that have really good stat rolls that are just garbage. You can't use them, and then you have to wait at least like another expansion or 2 seasons for that exotic to be useful. And then by that point, you already either deleted it because you needed space, or it's just you forget about it and it's just taking up space the whole time. It's not enjoyable. You need to make some faster changes. I think that'll really help. Just number tweaks. It doesn't require a whole crazy technical background or anything else. Do some number tweaks on exotics, right? If one exotic says you get 2 melee charges, it's not doing well. Give it 3 melee charges. Why not, right? See if it's really good. If it's too busted, bring it back, right? Figure out how to balance. Just have someone do the number changes with some of these and make things hit harder or hit weaker. If Volt Shot needs to hit harder, bump the number up. Oh, it hits hard. It hits too hard. Bump it down a little bit. There's no negative to this. People are going to find a way to use different weapons to get things done at a certain pace or faster, slower, or whatnot. And Bungie needs to be okay with changing things on the fly. It needs to be way faster pace and it's just way too slow. So let me know in the comments below what you think of some of the changes so far, and I'll just keep on going through here. Number 8. Reduce the amount of items, options, or perks. I know this is going to be a really big contention thing in the comments. You guys are probably get my head for this, but I think they need to either remove some perks, combine some perks together, or just clarify some good or bad ones. Because what's happening now is there is so many perks, and I've seen so many Guardians builds that they have no idea what perks they're using, what stats they're using, they have no idea what's going on. Because it's just so hard to figure out what the best thing is. They need to take some time and they need to take some of the choice out of it. It's way too complicated for newer players. If you're an experienced player, you know, okay, I need this stat for this class so I can do this kind of build, right? You just switch around every single time. Just simplify things, right? Take some perks off some weapons, remove them, or combine them into other ones. Merge 2 together, reduce them down so there's less crazy amount of choice in this, and you have all this RNG if they farm this weapon forever and ever and ever. Get this one perk combination with your magazine and barrel, just so you can have a god roll, where it could have been a lot simpler if there wasn't a crazy amount of perks that are awful, right? You're just wasting people's time. Let's kind of make things a little easier. Again, going into stats, I think a prime example is Hunter's mobility. There's no reason that Hunters should have to lose some durability or health recovery to increase their movement speed so they can have a faster class ability. Throw all the class ability into resilience or throw it into another stat. That way everyone has the same thing. It's easy, right? You can play multiple classes and you don't have to worry too much about that, right? If everyone goes resilience, easy, it helps you take more damage, cool. And then take that mobility, get rid of it, right? Give everyone 50% mobility increase, move on. Just take things, simplify it. Those don't need all this crazy stuff that people are thinking, I need to move faster so I can play better, right? It does sound better as a new player, but they're going to have a hard time. They're going to get really discouraged going into higher content when they don't have the damage reduction, right? And it's just because there's just too many things that make things more difficult. Simplify the game, and people have a way more enjoyable time, especially the new players. The experienced players, they know what to do, right? The new players are going to have a very hard time getting into the game and going, why do I need resilience? I take less damage, cool. But I'm leveling up, everything hits me very easy as it is. I don't need this, and they'll never go high resilience if they never watch any YouTube videos or learn from any other players. It requires too much research to play this game, is mainly what I'm trying to say. Number 9, the synth weave bounty and system has got to go. That whole transmog thing should just not be time locked. There's no reason that people should not be able to wear what they want for whatever reason. It just doesn't make any sense. You only get 10 per season on each character and you have to farm it out. It's just not enjoyable. Give everyone their transmog. Just make it simple. People are buying all this stuff all the time for different transmog because they can't accessibly get transmog in the game. Yes, you're probably thinking, oh, I get more money out of it. Yeah, but you're screwing people over, and they're getting discouraged and they're leaving your game. You got to make people want to buy things and enjoy it, right? They buy the transmog, they buy all this fancy transmog, they want to make some crazy set. They can't though because they're time locked. They're stuck for a whole season waiting so they can buy these boots that match their new Eververse stuff perfectly, right? Because they may not like the whole set. Number 10, I'm gonna combine with my number 11 I was thinking, but I think they need to listen to their player base and find actually what's good for the game, and that'll make them money. A big thing they could do is make a competitive scene. There's no competitive scene in Destiny. You have no leaderboard. There's third-party applications that shows players' experience, like how many raids they've completed or dungeons or whatnot to show their skill level, but it doesn't really matter. There needs to be a competitive scene, whether that's a competitive scene in raid or dungeons or some kind of leaderboard system, or mainly in PvP. There needs to be a competitive scene in trials or competitive PvP. There needs to be some initiative. Make a competitive scene in the Crucible. Competitive playlist is not very worth anything. Most people just do it for the triumph. They get their level up and they move on. Trials is way more important for the game, for loot and everything else. If you make the competitive scene in Crucible more enticing, where they could be an esports league, where there's televised and people can watch and really explore Destiny, figure why certain things work different ways, then you could do that. Is there restrictions that need to be probably made? Yeah, probably certain weapons need from a certain pool, and you can only do certain things. Like if you look at the MDI from WoW, as I've been a WoW player, they have certain weapons and gear they could use from a certain pool, and that's it. And that just shows the skill level that who can do the thing, who can complete the task in a certain amount of time, the best wins. The same thing in PvP. Whoever can win the match with whatever's given to them, whatever combinations, is the best. Ultimately, 10 simple changes, mainly just listening to your current player base, figuring out what is working, what isn't, monetarily thinking about what's going to make you money, making things more expensive and having a few people buy it, or having a larger player base buying things at a cheaper price and more of them. But that's just my 2 cents. I'm just a random guardian here in the system. But let me know what everyone thinks in the comments below. If you agree, disagree, let me know if I missed something. I will probably do another change video for this because there are so many things that can be adjusted. But these are just 10 things I thought of that really kind of could be very simply changed without some number tweaking. And just some overall, make the player base feel like you care, Bungie, and we'll be in a better space. But enough of me ranting. As always, I hope you have a fantastic day.